Good morning, good afternoon actually. Greek or English, which one you prefer? English, let's do it in English, fine. So, thank you for the invitation today here. I'm Monokandylos, I'm head of retail in Google Athens, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. My speech today is going to summarize probably most of the stuff that you've seen before from all the other presenters. It was exciting to hear Google about 15 times by the time I entered the room. It's quite funny. And one other thing that I want to mention is that indeed AI, artificial intelligence, ML, machine learning, which is pretty much the same cluster, they all exist, they're in our lives, and they're part of our products. So, 62%, what do you think is that? Well, 62% currently as we speak is the percentage of all sales that are influenced by internet. So either it's offline or online sales, they are currently influenced more than 62% from what people search and look and find online. So as you can imagine, internet is playing a huge role on commerce, retail or e-commerce. And looking historically on where we are currently, the first era of e-commerce was the era of external spaces. And that was the time when the biggest supermarkets opened, the biggest spaces where there was plenty of choice and consumers could walk in and find whatever they wanted in one space. And that was the time also of e-commerce when eBay and Amazon came to life. So, moving to the second era of retail, it was the rise of the customer experience. And basically it was the time, if you remember, when Apple opened the first stores and everything was about customer experience. You go inside, there is like an expert there, is trying to make the best out of your visit in the store. And that was also the time where the first smartphones came to life, iPhone. Who had the first iPhone here? Yes. So, it's already about, I would say, 10 years that smartphone is in our lives and it's completely changed the way we live and the way we act. And that brings us to the third era, which is what we currently live. And this is the era of personal experience and personalization, or as we in Google call it, the age of assistance. And that is what I'm going to talk to you about today, and how this has changed completely, the challenges that all our businesses face every day. So starting with the current environment in Greece, we all know that e-commerce is growing faster than the average retail, and we're looking for an 8% growth between 16 and 17. And we know that this thing will only accelerate because of the increase of penetration of internet, the increase of usage from people, and the technology improvements. And what we see is more and more of the sales that are happening offline, they're impacted by online. And that's the number that we see currently in Greece, 32% in 2016. That was the latest research we had. And one of the forecasts that we see out there says that by 2021, we're going to have 55% of the sales happening offline being impacted by online. So as you understand, internet will play a huge role on the consumer decision in the future. So this is what we call, and you call, omni-channel era. And that's very important to keep in mind when we are taking decisions about our marketing strategies or our operations. And as I said before, it's about 10 years that we have our smartphone in our lives, and that is also one of the primary media touch points that all consumers use day in, day out. That's the latest research in 2017 where we asked the consumers what was the last media touch point that you used yesterday, and you can see smartphone number 1, internet number 2, TV number 3, etc., etc. So that makes consumer journey very complicated. And that is something that everybody here is trying to demystify and try to understand better in order to increase profitability, of course, and bottom line. It's very complicated and we need the support of technology to make it easier for us. Here you see like the split on different journeys like online to offline, offline to online, etc., etc. And you see that it's indeed very complicated even in Greece. So, as you understand, consumers expect more and more from us. So 63% of the consumers say that they expect a very consistent and personalized experience from the brand that they interact with, which makes a big challenge but also a big opportunity for us and for our business. And unfortunately, we are moving very slow versus the consumers. A good example would be like we as consumers every day we take our smartphones out and we're searching for anything that we need. Unfortunately, we don't get the answers that we need. And that is what you can see here in the numbers. Only 5% of the businesses currently, they're answering to the needs of the consumer in the right way. And we have only about 30% of businesses that they have an omnichannel strategy, which is not the place we want to be. So what's the solution? Google, technology, and data. So basically, with the use of technology, AI, as our previous presenter said, and the use of the data that we have in hand or data that other providers have, we can make our strategy even better and we deliver our results. So, who remembers this? Good percentage. Well, I still remember the days where I was playing with this and I was calling, my grandpa, etc. It was amazing, but unfortunately it doesn't exist anymore. Today we have this. Who's doing this every morning? Yeah, unfortunately. Everybody wakes up and takes out the smartphone, checks the emails, calendar, what's next. And then the next thing we do is probably we put the destination we want to go, how we get there. Again, in that tools, also in products, we have AI incorporated. But basically, smartphone has completely changed the way we think and the way we act. And that's very important to keep in mind. Why? Because it got in our lives as technology, and technology also expanded not only from our smartphones, but into other devices that we are interacting every day. We have the smart assistants in our houses, smart watches, etc., etc. Everything is becoming smarter and smarter. And that leads to the point where consumers have changed. And how they have changed? They've changed in a way that we, in Google, we characterize it with these three characteristics. They're becoming more curious, more demanding, and more impatient. And that is the new modern consumer that we all need to keep in mind when we're planning and strategizing about the future. So what does it mean, each of these three characteristics? The first one, curious. They're more and more looking for information, whatever decision they have to take. And why they do that? Because they know there is an internet out there, easily reachable. You just press a button, you write a question, you get the answer. They're becoming demanding because they understand the power of technology. And they are impatient because speed is becoming more and more important in our lives. So, first characteristic, let's watch this video to understand what it means. Sound on? No? I go back. So, we're going to watch Aziz from one of the most famous Canadian comedians that explains how curious we have become these days in a very funny way. Should I? Maybe I will explain. Should I continue? No? Okay. Can I have some water?
I do think there's a new thing where we always want the best, you know? Whatever we're doing, we want to do the best, funnest thing. Whatever we're buying, we want the best. We have all these options, and we have all this information at our fingertips to research it, and we always want the best. Why not have the best? And a lot of times it's very useful, right? I made some more educated decisions in my life, but at a certain point, doesn't that stuff become debilitating? Like now it's gotten to the point where before I make any choice or decision in my life, I have to Google something to make sure I'm not fucking it up. You know what I mean? Like the other day, I had to get a toothbrush. Before I left my house, without even thinking about it, I Googled best toothbrush. That's right, I'm about to get the best toothbrush. Why? Why do I need the best toothbrush? Every other toothbrush I bought on a hunch has been fine. Like, what is a big fear now? Have you ever run into someone with no teeth and be like, what happened? Bought the wrong toothbrush. Should have done more research.
Actually, that's reality, even in Greece. So people are getting more and more curious and are searching for things that we would never think about as businesses. Things that they were low consideration products we were never going to pay attention in the past. Now that people are searching for it because they're afraid. I don't know. Maybe they will die because they're not sleeping on the best pillow, or they will lose their teeth because they don't use the best toothpaste. But this is Greek data, right? 2017 versus 2 years ago, and you see the increase of the searches and the queries around these topics. So don't underestimate, the curiosity of the consumers and where you can play in the specific times of the day. The first thing is demanding, and as I said, we know everybody understands technology and everybody understands the power of technology. That's why we're becoming more and more demanding. we expect more and more from businesses because they have in their hands the power of technology. So here's an example again from Greece, where you see 630% increase on mobile searches for Near Me or Open Now, because we understand as consumers that when we search for that, we should get the right answer and go and get what we need. So more and more things are expected from consumers, from the brands, and that's the, as I said, challenge, but also an opportunity for the ones that they will do it right. And impatient, because again, our lives are faster, more busy, we have more things to do, more tasks to handle together. So we are more impatient, we need fast and very accurate experiences from the brands. So here is the increase of the searches about the same-day delivery or food 24/7 in Greece for the past year. You see it's going very fast up. So consumers expect more and more from us. So we should not forget these three characteristics for the modern consumer when we design our strategy. And this is what also brings us to how we currently characterize this new age, the age of assistance, as I said before in Google, where consumers expect an assistive experience from all brands that they interact with. And unfortunately, what we see currently in research across the globe is that only 1/3 of these experiences that consumers have are helpful, unfortunately. And we know that only with the use of technology and data, companies can improve their strategy, the marketing strategy, and at the end of the day, the results that they bring to the company. So once these advertisers will use technology and data in the right way and become more relevant for consumers, they will increase, of course, the revenue, and they will decrease the cost of acquisition of the new customers. So how we can do that? Again, based on these three characteristics, we say there are three things that you should consider when you're planning your advertising strategy or communication strategy. The one is be there, the second will be useful, and then be quick. And I will analyze one by one what does it mean. And of course, I'm here because as Google we can help you with that. And you will see why. So the first characteristic, be there. First thing we say always is use the free tools that we have available. The first is Google My Business, right? So if you don't have a Google My Business page, go and do it now. It's we're in 2018. Unacceptable if you don't have a Google My Business page. Everybody searches on Google. It's for free, the result that you're going to get there with Google My Business. So make sure that you have your stores always there and correctly with all the information you need. So once you've done that, the second thing, of course, think about the other search engines that exist out there. Globally and in Greece, number one search engine is search, number two search engine is YouTube. So you understand people are searching on these two locations every day. And we see that 8 out of 10 people, the first place they go to find information about the next purchase is search. That's great data, right? The second important thing, so basically be on search and also advertise on search. Why is that? We know from other research that we've done in the past globally that the fact that you are advertising on search increases 4 times the chance that someone will convert. Consumers expect brands to be advertising because it's a signal of a good communication strategy and a valid company. The second thing is YouTube. So we know that consumers today, they use YouTube to find information before they go to do the next purchase. So they use this to watch videos about some product, comparisons, unboxing, etc. And we know in Greece that 6 out of 10, they say this is the most useful place to find information about the next purchase. So make sure that also in YouTube, for example, you have a video about your product or an ad before someone goes and sees a help me video or unboxing video, because that will increase again your chances to get the right consumer. The second thing is be useful. And what it means be useful is give the right information to the right person at the right time. And how you should do that is knowing your consumer. If you don't know your consumer, probably you're going to serve an irrelevant message that will not have an impact as you would expect. And how we can help you on that, of course, we can do it because we have access to billions of digital signals, anonymized signals, because we have 7 platforms globally that are accessed every day and every month by 1 billion at least users. So there's a lot of digital signals that they give us information about this user. Anonymized again, I say, very important. And in that way, we are able to categorize every user in a specific bucket, and we can help you go and target this right consumer. And we leave the past strategy, which was demographic. So targeting in the past was all about age, roughly some interests and hobbies, and that was all. These days, we're even 10 steps deeper in the understanding of the consumer, and we can tell you even, what he's reading, what he's interested to buy, about his family, his kids, his income, if he's getting married, if he's moving to a new house, if he's changing university, etc., etc., etc. As I said, this is anonymized digital signals, but at the same time, they give you the power to target the right person very detailed. So, if you're valuable, the last thing you should be quick. And experiences need to be quick and relevant, and this is what consumers expect from the brands. And when we say be quick, the first thing that comes in mind is your website, right? So as I said, smartphone, website, as you understand, we're talking about mobile websites, because this is where the first interaction will happen, most probably with the consumer. And unfortunately, again, what we see in Greece today is that we have very slow website loading times. This is the average Greek website loading time for retail, 15 seconds. How far it is? 12 seconds. So consumers expect 3 seconds loading time. Unfortunately, we are at 15. So we have a long way to go if we want to improve the experience and be quick and be relevant for them. So this is something that you need to consider and invest on if you want to play hard and play in the right place at the age we live. So summarizing all this, it's very important to be there. Google My Business, advertise yourself on search engine because people are looking for and there are people attending these two engines. The second thing, be useful, so target the right audience, serve the right message at the right time with the use of technology and data. And the last one, be quick, optimize your M-site speeds if you want to have an efficient and fast experience. So that was all for me. Thank you.